many of the improvements should be able to be resourced to contribute significantly to the creative economy by keeping them in place. So if we are able to attract, and I think I would say we're certainly trying to, educational institutions, because I can certainly say the city wants to keep some type of strong educational component at the university. But if we can attract film schools and folks who are in production facilities and increase the infrastructure that allows all those different spaces to be used as part of that new digital economy, keeping our young people here and attracting them to that space, we will have repurposed and utilized that space very strategically. It is also a great place to look at putting in some type of additional housing for the community. It is centrally located in the city, and there is even talk about trying to move city services into a more unified campus on that space, where rather than city employees spending a significant amount of time driving back and forth between buildings, they would be able to work in one space, as well as have people from all across Santa Fe come to that one space for all their services and interaction with the city. So keeping it significantly dedicated to higher education and the new creative economy are both significant points.
So specifically and realistically, I think we need to look at short-term and long-term solutions and ways to unlock the potential of this campus. When the city bought the College of Santa Fe campus, there was an intent to really master plan the whole area with the schools and the state specifically. There's a lot of government land around here. We're bordered by National Forest land. There's schools land where the Lafarge Library is, not to mention where the new Milagro Middle School is going, Milo de Vargas, and Santa Fe High School is right here. In 2012, we did a prototyping project, as it was called Relife, to really start reimagining what this part of town could be. The census puts the population center of Santa Fe on this campus in 2010. So I think we need to, in the long term, really look at a good master planning process for multiple uses, and with the partnerships of the schools that have land nearby, the National Forest, the state has their land here, and then the city actually has a facility over on Siringo that's just over there, and there was talk about land swap rights during the Richardson administration. We'll have a new governor soon, and hopefully a good partner in working on some of these things. In the short term, we need to get as much activity as we can on this campus. We need to put people into the housing that's here, the dorms, and we need to use the film studios and the sound stages, which are perfect for television. And we're looking at a golden age in television. We have a strong crew base, and we need to light those up by working on getting TV productions in here, working in Santa Fe. We also have a great kitchen, which could be used for a whole bunch of purposes. And we have a library, and we also, which is Fogelson Library here on the campus, is quite near Lafarge Library. And again, to partner with the schools and really have knowledge centers, media centers, and fundamentally, I think we need to pay attention to the culture and the history of what's here, which is education. So keeping the higher education center and growing the educational functions will always be paramount to what this campus needs to be for Santa Fe.
We are sitting in a facility that is basically at the center of Santa Fe. And we need to recognize that this is geographically and demographically increasingly where the city has migrated to, and we should make that a huge opportunity. I think there's some things, as far as this campus is concerned, that we all probably agree on. Movies, TV, digital entertainment are working, they're growing. We've got a great footprint, we've got a great track record. We are very fortunate to have George R.R. Martin in our community, and he's made a huge investment in helping Santa Fe by becoming a champion for Santa Fe. We need to build on that. We need to build on IATSE's role in growing our economy and growing talent in our economy so that young people can enter that industry and make a living. We also need to link back to the things that we haven't invested in: broadband, high-speed internet, cell phone service, restoring flights to LA so that we're really linked to the center of the entertainment industry. There does need to be an educational component on this campus, but we need to think about what kind of an educational component. I think the future of the economy is technology, entertainment, education, and design. In Stanford, there's something called the D School. The D School was started by the folks at IDEO, perhaps the best imagination company in America, to combine business education with creativity and design. Those are Santa Fe's brands. So we ought to be looking for a partner that can work to bring technology, entertainment, education, and design to our school. And this is an opportunity for an infill housing project, not just on Santa Fe University Art and Design campus, but on the surrounding land that makes it an even better in-town development for Santa Fe.
If I didn't say it, bienvenidos, welcome to District 4. I'm glad you're all here. But you know what? Look what we have here. This is a dynamic place that we have. I remember coming here as a kid to the college, going and watching the Knights play basketball. How many of you guys here watched the Knights play basketball back in the day? You're old timers, okay. But we are sitting on a gold mine. We are. The thing is, what we need to do is we need to find out and have that collaboration. That's what I want to do. We talk about it in education. This piece of property has so much potential. And what needs to happen, though, is everybody has to come to the table. Not just special interest groups, not just these little talks with certain people. The entire city of Santa Fe has to have a seat at the table and have that discussion. This belongs to the people of Santa Fe. Your taxpayer dollars are paying for this. Yeah. So we made a decision back in 2008 when we purchased this piece of property because we didn't want to see it go away. It's been a gem in here, but the thing about it is, unfortunately we lost the tenant that was here. I think everyone wants to see education here, but this is going to lend itself to so many. There are just so many challenges, but so many opportunities as well that we have on this place. It's just going to take time, but it's going to take a collaboration. As mentioned, housing. There are places around this campus that we can put housing, but again, the discussion has to take place. And that's what's going to be the great thing about this. This is just going to be the city council and the mayor sitting up here. This is the way it is. That's what's going to stop the city government. City government is not going to be telling the people what to do. We want you to be partners with us. We want you to be at the table making those tough decisions so that we get the best out of this campus. Because this can be, like I said, this is a gem. And in order for us to ensure that it's not a ruby, it's a diamond, it's going to take all of us to work hard and to collaborate so we get it done right.
So what specifically and realistically should be done? Well, I think that cold water in the face is continuing to pay the debt on this property. When the city purchased it, I know many people may have questioned it, but it was a very wise investment. It's appreciated over time, but the fact of the matter remains that the city still owes over $20 million in debt. We're paying $2.2 million a year in debt payments. Right now, we're losing a tenant, as Councilor Trujillo mentioned, and we're not going to have that income through a lease from that tenant. And so we only have $1 million set aside as a contingency. So we need to come up with another $1 to $1.2 million to pay for this. And so that's, I think, priority number one. And if you elect me as mayor, we'll make sure that we shore up the finances and have stable revenue sources to continue paying for the property. But now, with that being said, this is kind of hallowed ground for me. My father got his Bachelor of Arts degree in 1956 when it was College of Santa Fe. And I think many of us have fond memories of when it was the College of Santa Fe or as the Santa Fe University of Art and Design. But what I'd like to see, and no doubt, this is a gem, it is an asset, and it is a public asset. And by virtue of that, we need to make sure that we have a very robust civic engagement process with you, the public, and other organizations that have a stake in this. I'd like to see its higher ed mission continue, perhaps as a film school, I think this property can be used to facilitate the expansion of the film industry, the post-production facility. It's got the Lambda high-speed broadband system that can be leveraged to expand digital media production. But I don't want to see a complete redevelopment. I think there are already existing uses that should remain. The library, the screen, and perhaps we can identify a footprint that could be open for redevelopment. And so this is a great opportunity for us to develop this property together. Thank you.